Hello, hello. It is Foxy at the top of the first Fearless Action Hour today. I've got some ladies here with me. Does anyone have anything they would like to mastermind around being fearless? Anyone? Anyone?
Well, Foxy, you're looking foxy. What have you done fearlessly lately?
Well, I just got back from doing a speaking event. And it was a little scary because I didn't really know any of the ladies. I'm vaguely familiar with the person who asked me. So that was fun. It was introducing myself to a whole new group of people. So that was definitely stepping out of my comfort zone. And I haven't used my projector in forever. And so when I was setting up my projector, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't remember how to do this. And so luckily this lady came up and she helped me, because you have to adjust the thing, this way and that way and this way and that way. And she came up and she helped me. So I was really grateful for that because I was just going to go with it all wonky.
I would have no idea. So yeah, you're telling me this. I'm like, yeah, sure. I have no idea. I wouldn't know how to do that.
Yeah, well, I used to because I used to use my projector a lot, but I haven't used it in forever. So I totally forgot, but it all worked out. So I put myself out there and definitely was, I would say it was a stretch because I've definitely done it before, but there was an element of risk there because it was with people that I don't know. And I, didn't know how the information would go. What did I do? Did I do that? And I didn't know how the information would go, across to them. Because they're business people, not necessarily self-help people, So I think it went good though. I didn't get a lot of feedback. So that also is a little, fear inducing because when you ask for what did you get from this and you get crickets, it's like, okay, nobody got anything. Yay.
Their mind's blown, I'm sure.
Yeah. But when I was walking out, there were a lot of people that said, thank you. It was a great presentation. I got a lot out of it. So that definitely
made me
feel, well, yeah, but when I was doing the presentation, I asked for feedback. One person said, what'd she say, Mom? Reminder. I think she said reminder. And then another lady said, she's gonna use the tool or something like that. But it was 2 people out of, I think there ended up being 17. So the group was a little smaller than I thought, but it worked. I worked the room. So
awesome.
I thought it went well. But yeah, so I mean, it's definitely scary when you put yourself out. So. Yay, we are back at the bottom of the first Fearless Action Hour. And what would we like to mastermind about? It can be around being fearless. It can be around refreshing. It can be around anything you want. So does anyone have something that they would like to mastermind around? Discuss, share? I can turn the recording off and we can have some WP time. It's up to you, ladies. Really? You got nothing? All right. Well, in my my speaker gig today that I was telling you guys about, I did my presentation on stretchers for die, which both of you, well, obviously Terry, but both of you are aware about and probably have seen. I know you both have seen it. And so it was interesting. Every time I go through teaching stretch risk die, everybody always has like a different take on it. And so I would love to hear, what are your opinions on stretch risk die, and how has it supported you with taking goals further? Huh? Yeah. Mm-mm. You're still not going to talk to me.
So with stretch risk or die, my learning and growing with it has been, breaking down the steps and making it digestible, just being able to step out and be like, okay, so what does that mean? What is, and going deeper in it, to make it smaller. But yeah, that was, I don't know. I don't have a lot of huge things to think like on my target, right? And so it's just more of a really sit and think about the steps to break it down, for those things that are on there.
Yeah,
they are on the radar.
Yeah, so baby stepping, breaking it down, making the risks easier to take, expanding your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, because that really is what it comes down to. Because if you have a die on there, it's really breaking it down into risks, breaking the risks down into stretch, and getting a support team that's going to help you baby step to the die. So, I mean, as long as you know how to break down a risk, then you know the process and how to make it digestible, as you said, make it something that's not as scary to do. And I mean, that's another thing that I saw at the networking group today, was that nobody in the room had a die. And so that makes me think two things. One, that everybody is like really fearless, or two, that they're not really thinking big enough.
That's it.
And so, it's like, what is stopping them from thinking bigger, thinking into that die zone, seeing those dies, and stuff. And so, because I got a ton of dies, so it always surprises me when nobody in the room has a die. I think that was the first time I have done that presentation and no one in the room had a die.
Well, that one lady that was sitting at our table, the one that ran the meeting, she had a die. She just didn't want to share it.
Oh, so yeah. So, well, that makes me feel better that someone had a die, and maybe others did too, but they didn't want to raise their hand.
Yeah. I mean, maybe because it was a group of professional women who think of themselves as high-powered, independent, that they're afraid to admit. Well, that's what you do when you say that.
I know, but it's like, when you did professional, it made me think like they were women of the night.
Well, that's just because we saw that movie last night. That's what you're thinking about. We went and saw Redeeming Love last night.
Okay, we don't need that on the recording.
Okay. Anyway,
we can talk about that later.
I think that sometimes women who consider themselves, that's their kind of their claim to fame, is that they're professional, successful realtors, successful, I mean, there were women in leadership and CEO positions. And so they think, well, I don't have any dies. I'm already, I think their fear is definitely controlling their capacity to choose that, or to admit that, or that would be a weakness if they were to say that. I mean, sometimes I think that may be true, maybe not. Maybe I'm making it up.
Yeah, I think it definitely is an aspect. People don't want to admit that they have big fears. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize that fear is running their life at all. I
Yeah.
mean, really, it's like, I don't have any fears. And I'm like, whoa, you need to wake up. Everyone has fears. Everyone. So, yeah, so maybe we can talk more about that if you guys stick around for the next hour. So it is Foxy here at the top of the second Fearless Action Hour, and I am here to mastermind on anything to do with being fearless. So if you need any support with stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something that you haven't done before, taking a risk, I am your girl. So does anyone have anything that they would like to mastermind on? This is becoming a trend. Well, we were talking in the last action hour about a tool that I share, which is called Stretch, Risk, or Die. And it's all about how we baby step out of our comfort zone to take bigger and bigger risks. And they were sharing how it supports them in really identifying what those baby steps are and then stepping out and taking them. I think, though, one of the biggest things that helps you is a support system. So, having a team of people that you can call on and get support from. And so let's talk about that. So one of my favorite quotes of Rhonda Britton is, "No one can be fearless alone." And so who do you have in your corner? Who are your ride or die people that you can count on for support, help, whatever you need? So how many people do you have? Can you count them on one hand? Would it take you a half an hour to write them all down? Who do you have on your team?
I want a list. That sounds great.
Yeah. Well, I would encourage you to make a list because I think I want to do that too. There's 4 categories in our support team. So we have our cheerleaders, or our support buddies. I like calling them cheerleaders. Those people that you can count on that are just going to instantly make you believe in yourself more. And then you have your voices of experience. Those are the people that have been there, done that, and are a little further along on their journey, and they can kind of mentor you to that, to where you want to go. We have your voices of I just said that. You have your wise counsel, and those are people that you might pay, like a coach or a lawyer or an accountant, or someone in that kind of capacity. Or it could just be someone that you really respect. They've had a lot of experience in their life, and you just you really like their opinion on things or whatnot. And then you have a powerful partner, and usually you only have 1 or 2 of these. It's usually a spouse, a best friend, a business partner, someone that you're equally invested in working towards the same goals. So think about that. Do you have people in each of those categories? And if not, who can you put in them? Okay, so we'll come back and talk about that some more. All right, back at the bottom of the second Fearless Action Hour, Foxy is here to support you. So do we want to continue talking about our support system and how are we doing? Or does someone else have something else they want to talk about?
Well, I found it interesting that you listed the 4 different types of support systems, because as you were talking about the support systems, I was thinking about how, when it comes to like the accountability and the people that I go to, it's very conditional. Like I go to these people for these things, these people for those things, this person for this thing. And sometimes there's overlap, but you know, it's very segmented.
Yeah. And is that okay?
Absolutely.
It is. It's okay. And some people you might find they fit in multiple categories. And then there are some people who only fit in one, you know, or some people that you can get support from in this area of your life, but you wouldn't ask them for support in that area of your life, right? Because they got your back in this one, but this one, they got too much baggage, right? To see it, you know, objectively for you. So I love that though. And they can be, you know, people that don't mix, you know. I mean, your accountant's not going to be necessarily friends with your lawyer, right? So your support buddies don't need to necessarily be, you know, a group of friends where you all support each other. Though I think it just happened. Like Beck and Stephanie are in my group program. And I think within that group, we could possibly have multiple categories of support going on there, right? Because Terry and I are representing Wise Counsel as the leaders of the group and your coaches, but we're also all support buddies within the group because we're all friends as well, right? And then for specific things, like Stephanie is my health coach. So she's also my Wise Counsel, right? And there's things that I would go to Beck for as my voice of experience or Wise Counsel and vice versa. So some people can fit in a lot of those categories. And then some people are just one, right? So yeah, love that. Anything else anyone wants to share? No? Beck, how do you, oh, okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, no, but I still want that list. I'm gonna take the encouragement to make the list to really, you know, think about that, because this would be proactive, you know, to be ready for, you know, I don't think about, you know, who do I go to for these specific things. I don't go to a lot of people for a lot of things. So I'm excited about the list and to think about it in a different way.
Yeah. And it kind of, as you go up, you might have less, right? Because you're only going to have like one or two powerful partners. Like for me, I know like your husband, Sue's, right? Are probably your powerful partners. And then your Wise Counsel, you might only have a few, you know, your voice of experience, you might have, you know, a few depending on all the different areas of your life. Because you might have like a mom you go to about mom stuff. You might have a photographer that you go to photographer stuff, right? So there might be more people in that category, but the support buddy category, see, that's where I hesitate in making a list, because my support buddy category is huge. So, I mean, I got people on Facebook singing me happy birthday that I don't even know. So, you know, your support buddy can be like anyone who's willing to take time to make you feel good, right? So, that category can be huge, but you definitely want to make sure that you have people in each one. So, Yeah, so it is Foxy at the bottom of the third Fearless Action Hour. And I just wanted to kind of continue the thought of what we were talking about with support. So when you're looking at who you have and you're seeing holes in your support team, you're seeing that you don't have really that many voices of experience and you would like more. You don't see that you have any wise counsel. If you feel like your powerful partner isn't necessarily on board and equally committed to the same goals as you, a conversation is needed. And I know conversations aren't always easy, but finding someone who does what you do and is a little farther ahead than you, and having a conversation with them and saying, hey, would you be willing to be my voice of experience or my mentor or the person I can call and ask questions to in this area of my life? And they either say yes or they say no. Most likely they'll say yes because you wouldn't be going to them if they're not your friend already in some capacity. With wise counsel, you might need to hire someone. You might need to hire a CPA or hire a lawyer or hire a coach. Or you might just have someone that you really trust and you really respect, and you know that if you came to them with a problem, they would look at it objectively and support you in choosing the right decision. Then it's a matter of a conversation. Hey, I really love and respect you. I would, I know in the past I've come to you and you've supported me, and I'd like for you to be that person on my support team that I can go to and I can ask questions and we can continue to have this relationship with each other. I want to make sure that you're okay being this person in my life, something to that effect. And your powerful partner, I mean, if you don't feel like you're on the same page, and dude, with my husband, even with my business partner, there are times where I'm like, are we on the same page? Are we continuing to work towards the same goals? And have that conversation of getting back on the same page, having the same goals, working towards the same thing that you're trying to achieve, and keeping that going. So that you can be the best support system for each other.